What is up, everybody? You got Coach and I together, man. You know, this is a long time coming. We had a show together last year, and then things kind of, we got busy. But it's the off season again. We're ready to rock and roll. Every Monday, you can catch it either on my channel or Coach's channel. So if you don't like me, go watch Coach. If you don't like Coach, come watch me. Either way, you can catch us.
All right? And if you don't like the both of us, you're in denial because you're still watching.
You are in denial if you don't like the both of us. But new show on Mondays. We're calling it Cover 2. And basically, it's going to be a recap show for the most part of what happened the week prior. So tonight's show, we're going to recap the first week of free agency. And we are also going to do a little mock draft because Coach and I were talking on the phone earlier, and he's got visions of how the 49ers should draft. And I just don't know if I agree. So that being said, we're going to go through a mock draft together, figure it out, see if his plan can come together and make sense. But first, we got to talk about free agency. Coach, I'm going to give you a list of the players that they've signed thus far.
Let's go.
I want to know what your thoughts are of the players that are coming in. So they signed Luke Farrell,
right?
Rick Grant, Luke Gifford, 2 Lukes because one's not good enough. Demarcus Robinson, Jason Pinnock, Trey Brown, Mac Jones, and John Weeks. Tell me what you think about this incoming crew from free agency.
Look, man, you got to be where your feet are. I think that's the most important thing right now. And understanding where the 49ers stand with what we're trying to do moving forward with a Super Bowl window, which I think we can all admit is officially closed, okay? I don't think we've actually had that, clarifying moment yet. Have we, Jesse? Have we actually said it, Or are we just going to be like Brett Favre and never retire? Are we going to actually are we actually going to come out and state the obvious that the Super Bowl window is closed? It's okay to realize that. It's important to realize that so we can move forward, right? If you have fans still thinking that the party's still going on, then we're going to be here trying to go to work and people are still going to be showing up with red cups and foam fingers thinking it's a party. You're not dressed for the event, okay? Right now, it's important to be where our feet are, and that is that the Niners are rebuilding. I like to call it managed transparency. So in a way, they're trying to rebuild while keeping the ship afloat, which is smart to do, okay? Because we have the players to ingest that. With that being said, not only was I not looking for a big splash for free agency, but I'm glad that they didn't. I'm not really impressed with the class that we have in free agency. I mean, in my opinion, we could have did a really bad job spending big money, right? If you're looking at some of the guys that are actually moved, it wasn't even necessarily free agency, but it was trades. Laremy Tunsil was a trade. Deebo Samuel was a trade. We lost some guys that we already know that as far as money is concerned, all of these guys were a little bit too rich for our blood, except one. There was one deal that I feel like we all felt like could have gotten done in Dre Greenlaw's deal. But for the most part, I do agree with the direction in which they're going. They're not breaking the bank on guys. And that's what teams that are either a player away or a team that's quite frankly trying to pull the wool over the eyes of their fan base to try to make it look like they're, trying their best to move forward. But in all actuality, they know they have no chance. So one thing that I do like about what the 49ers are doing is that when they say that they are in Super Bowl contention and they're pushing forward to try to get to a ring, or we're on the quest, or, we're reloading, or the revenge for 6, or whatever type of euphemism or name that we come up with every year, at least we know that in their heart of hearts, whether or not we agree with them or not, they believe it, right? What I've seen from the offseason so far coming from the organization is that they're circling the wagons. They're not going to be big spenders. And quite frankly, we can't be big spenders because 0 plus 0 equals 0. We don't have enough money. So I like the direction they're going. But trust me, I would be nervous if we were doing this in free agency without 12 picks coming into this year's draft. So it all counts, right? And I'm not gonna, just have a linear thought. I'm gonna break this thing to a side and look at what we've got forecasted down. So I see what we're doing in free agency, and I'm fine with it.
Yeah, I don't have a problem necessarily. Like the overall direction I do like, but there are some things that are a little contradictory to me, right? Like we have the Kyle Juszczyk thing, where they let him go, bring him back. That one didn't make sense to me. Not because Kyle Juszczyk is here. It's less about Kyle Juszczyk being here, but it's about the path they took for him to be here. You didn't have to go through all of that. You didn't have to cut him to let him go spread his wings for 5 days and then come back to you at a number that you liked. You could have just kept him on the roster for that. You could have allowed him to shop his services, much like they did with Deebo Samuel. And not only that, because you did it the way that you did it, you're taking a $3.57 million cap hit to cut him. And then even though you re-sign him, you still take the $3.57 million cap hit for what? Like that whole thing was pointless. Now, we haven't seen the details of his contract. I don't know exactly how it's broken down. I've got to imagine a 2-year, $8 million deal. There's some void years added on. So it's like, not only did you take the cap hit to cut him and bring him back, but now you're probably going to add void years to the end of this deal to eventually cut him potentially next offseason. That doesn't line up with what's going on. And I would say the other one that doesn't necessarily line up either is when they let go of Leonard Floyd, not necessarily because they need Leonard Floyd on this team, but the timing in which they did it was like, okay, you heard rumblings that Leonard Floyd might be let go because they were going after Joey Bosa. So then right around the time that you're expecting Joey to sign, they let go of Leonard Floyd. We're like, all right, well, that means Joey's coming. Well, pump the brakes. Joey ends up in Buffalo and you let go of Floyd. I don't know, man. Again, not everything has to be perfect. I get that.
Right.
But some of these things are not lining up to me. It's like the moment I feel like there's a sense of direction, they pull the rug out from under me. I'm like, do they actually have a sense of direction here or not?
Well, I think that one thing that some simple things are just hiding in plain sight when we all witness moves like that. And one of those truths, or one of those kind of like, what can I say, obfuscating truths that are just saying out that are sitting right under our noses is people tell the Niners no. Like some people that the Niners say that they want, that we say that the Niners are targeting, it does not mean that that's necessarily a foregone conclusion, right? I mean, I'm of the thought that Joey Bosa was as much ours as he was anybody else's, right? They could have been talking to him as much as they want to, and as soon as he heard the number, he said, hell no. I mean, right now, that's why I really want to just focus on the draft, because you look at what Jordan Mason signed for, you look at what Dre Greenlaw signed for, and you say to yourself, all right, well, if the Niners can't afford that, then you see what Joey Bosa signed for, which is like, what, 1 year, $12 million? Is that what he signed for?
Yeah, something like that.
That's way too rich for our blood if we're not willing to kick the tires on Dre Greenlaw, who was making $12 million guaranteed over 3 years, right? If we can't offer Dre Greenlaw $12 million over 3, what makes you think that we can offer Joey Bosa $12 million over 1? So for me, I don't know what their fixation is on it's late night. We might as well be real. Oh, whatever, man. Let's just go ahead and break the seal. I don't know why they like mid guys, bro. Like Tyler, like the tight end out of Jacksonville is mid, bro. I don't know why they spent that money on him. Kyle Juszczyk is mid. I don't know why they want him around. A lot of it is because they see a role for him. Kyle sees a role for them, but I don't see where these guys necessarily fit. For the kid that we got out of Jacksonville, what was such a big deal from letting go of Charlie Warner? I tweeted that. Like, as soon as I saw it, I was like, so Charlie Warner, we didn't want to keep Charlie Warner? Like, I don't get it. And I understand that if you look at it, man, we have been drafting, trading, and looking and searching for a number 2 tight end since Kyle Shanahan has been here. And we still can't find one. I mean, we drafted for guys. We had guys that we picked up in free agency. We've got guys we traded for. And we still can't find a tight end that could just be normal. So, the fact that they went out and got a guy, I guess, what is it? In PFF, he was ranked like top 2 as one of the best pass blocking or run blocking tight ends connected to the line of scrimmage. I mean, that's awesome, for fantasy points, I guess. But really, I guess the biggest thing that I want to see, and I think that this draft is going to be emblematic of that. We'll see if they actually have picked this up. But I want to get good football players who happen to do the skill set we need. I don't want to go get specialists anymore. Like, we got to get out of that. We got to get out of going to get guys that are special at one thing or that are really good at a specific area of football that we need. Because what happens is that football takes over. And then you're going to need that guy to do something more than what you got him for. And it's going to look weird. So then when Eric Saubert is playing, when George Kittle is out and he can't run a play without falling on his face, we could all look at, but he's a great blocker, right? When we get this kid out of Jacksonville and he plays tight end for us, if he, God forbid, he has to start, nobody's going to care about his blocking ability if George Kittle's not playing. And we got to depend on this kid to actually be a tight end. So I'm just over the oversimplification of football with our scouting department. Quite frankly, our coaching staff. I don't think it's our scouting department. I think it's our coaching staff. I think that they're more fixated on Kyle's scheme and what exactly he needs. And if you think about that, you can't name one thing specialized that the guys on the Eagles defense do. They play ball, right? They bring the skill set first, the athlete first, and then they bring all of that other shit later. They worry about the X's and O's later, but they get the athlete first. We need plus athletes.
Yeah, I agree with that. And there's a couple questions here. Papa J has one. I think this is a good question. I've seen this a lot floating around. And then there's a second question that's floating around that I do want to address as well. But Papa J says, why is it that some content creators say we don't have any money and other content creators say we have plenty of money? Who are we to believe? There's two separate things at play. And maybe people are mixing it up. I don't know. I'm not quite sure. But
I have the answer for that. That's very easy.
Yeah. You have the salary cap, which is money that the team can spend if they so choose to. Mm-hmm. The league does expect that you spend, I believe, 85% of that every year, but you don't have to spend more than that. So the 49ers have salary cap space to sign players, but then you have cash spending, which is what your owner is willing to spend to bring in free agents. That also allows you to manipulate the salary cap. That's where the issue is. Jed York is deciding not to spend a lot of money. The salary cap there is an allotment to spend money. So this is an ownership choice. This is not because they don't have salary cap space or don't have money. It's a choice, a cognizant choice to not spend that money by Jed York.
Also, I would implore listeners in the chat, the next time you hear somebody or a content creator bring up the cap, ask them to differentiate. Ask them, what do you mean we have a lot of money? Do we have a lot of cap space? Or are you talking about Jed's cash spending on the team? Because that's really what it is. And it's kind of like it's a cool little bait and switch game that you see in content creation when somebody wants to float like, man, we've got plenty of money. Yeah, Jed's money. But the cap is screwed. We don't have cap space to do what you're saying right now. Or some people will say, well, we don't have a lot of money right now. And it's saying, well, yeah, we can make that happen on the cap. But as far as Jed making that happen, he'd be more than willing to pay this guy's salary. So it's kind of like an ebb and flow between the two.
Absolutely. And then another question that I didn't see in the chat, but I've seen a lot of people like kind of bring it up throughout the course of Twitter and comment sections, is the Jordan Mason thing. Jordan Mason, second round tender. People are confused by this. The second round tender for Jordan Mason, that allowed the 49ers to keep Jordan Mason on the team because no team was going to spend a second round pick to offer him a contract. So because that happened, that allowed the 49ers to retain his rights. If they had kept him this year, They could have kept him at that 1 year, $5.3 million because of that second round tender. Or, and this is the part nobody's talking about, they ended up trading him, right, for a completely different package. Minnesota worked out a new deal with him. This is something that the 49ers could have done too. They also could have worked out a new deal with Jordan Mason. I'll give you the example. Last year, it was Jawan Jennings who was tendered for something similar. The 49ers, instead of signing him to that tender, they worked out a new deal, a 2-year deal with him. That's what the Vikings did with Jordan Mason. So the 49ers absolutely could have worked out that same deal with Jordan Mason if they could have come to an agreement. They didn't have, it wasn't like, hey, we keep him at 1 year, $5.3 million, or we trade him. That was not the options. They could have absolutely worked out a longer term deal. They just chose not to. Maybe Jordan Mason didn't want to. Maybe it was a mutual thing, what have you. But both things were at their disposal, and they chose not to do that. So I just want to be clear about those things.
Agreed.
Dazza says Juice for $4 million, 2 years versus Ojolari, $4 million for 1 year. Who helps the 49ers more? Yeah, Azeez Ojolari signed with the Eagles today. Listen, they had Sweat walk for $19 million, and they just signed one of his rotational replacements for $4 million.
$4 million.
This was absolutely incredible.
This is
on top of Josh Uche, who they signed. I don't even remember what that deal was, but it wasn't very expensive at all. It's the Eagles, man. Their front offices.
They're hot.
Front offices.
They're hot. Man. Not only are you hot, but like, guys, we know what this feels like. They're the team they're the locker room that players want to be in right now. They're a team that won the Super Bowl, and they're a players' team. They're hot right now. So everybody who wants to either put some last bit hardware on their career, revive their career so they can go somewhere else and get a better bag, or get in a better atmosphere before they get out of here, all roads lead to Philadelphia. The same way they did for the 49ers when everybody wanted to play with us when we were hot. It's the same thing. We've seen it before.
Yeah, how much of this do you think, you mentioned it briefly earlier, but how much of this do you think is simply like these guys don't want to play for the 49ers? Like, okay, I'll give you an example. There was Joey Bosa, Drew Dahlman, DJ Reed. These were names that a lot of 49ers fans were clamoring for. None of them end up with the 49ers. All of them ended up with pretty manageable contracts if you wanted to go that route. Cap space-wise, the 49ers could have made it happen. They didn't. But how much of that is, even if the 49ers would have matched, they're like, thanks, but no thanks. We want to go to a winner. We want to go to a team that we think is competing. Like, how do you think free agents are viewing the 49ers right now? And is it possible that the 49ers are being very active? We're just not hearing about it because these guys aren't signing. They're choosing to go elsewhere because they don't look at the 49ers as contenders anymore.
Well, two things can be true at the same time. I still want to stay with my contention that I don't believe the Niners are like big actors in free agency right now. But it does play. Another element that I think is not being highlighted is players talk, bro. And we got a lot of players exodus out of SF, bro. A lot of people left. So guys are talking. Debo's talking. Travarius Ward is talking. Dre Greenlaw is talking. Huff is talking. Javon Hargrave is talking. They're all like, man, I'm out of there, bro. That last year in there was a joke. This is how Kyle is. This is how the organization gets down. They flat out, they talk this big. And another thing, this is why, it's dangerous when you get players that come in here. Remember, like, it used to seem like every player would come in here and be like, man, I love it here. Like, dude, this is just, I've never been in an organization like this, bro. I've never seen like the coach be so like in tune, hip, swagger. You know what I'm saying? I've never been around a team that practices like this. And the thing about it is that I think that they kind of like, they started reading their own newspaper clippings, bro. They just let the culture slip. And when you go through a season like we had where, they use a lot of strong words in public, calling guys Niners for life. Brock, excuse me, Brock is the real deal. And then you have things where you completely back off. It just doesn't look good. Also, I will tell you for like the thing that really sucks is like we're not losing necessarily top guys, but what really hurts is kind of like I feel like there's a little bit of like a fiscal civil war happening within the 49ers as far as the locker room is concerned. I'll tell you this, we're all teammates, but Jesse, if I know that you're one of the big dogs on the team and you already make the most money, but then you go back and double down after we lost and say that you want more guaranteed money, and then I got to sit back as a middling player on this team and struggle to make mine, and then you don't even come to camp, or you come to camp late, or you come to camp hurt, I professionally, I have a problem with you. You know what I'm saying? I have a problem with you. You low key fucked up the synergy of our team, you know, because you wanted more money after we lost. You cut bait. You know, the same way Josh Allen could sit here and take $5 million less to make sure that he can grease the wheels of progression with the Bills so he can make sure other guys get paid. It's the same way that once you pay a guy like he's a quarterback, but he's not a quarterback, you can't expect guys to give you deals. You can't expect guys to get it, right? We went through a lot of deals on this team as big as quarterback deals in a sense. Nick Bosa was damn near a quarterback deal, right? Going after Brandon Ayuk, getting him for $30 million a year. That was something that hurt us. It's a lot. There was a lot of contention with these deals. And I think what kind of like smooths over all of that infighting is winning. Actually coming in here and showing like, all right, yeah, I know you can sit here and act like, you know, I'm greedy or I asked for more money when I shouldn't have, or I rug pulled the roster. Basically, you know, I basically put the whole team on waiting mode because I wanted to get paid when I shouldn't have been able to get paid. Right. You know, if you're going to come in and you're winning and you're the guy and you're the tip of the spear, everybody kind of lets that sweep under the rug. But you can't make us wait all off season and then not finish the season. And God knows a lot of things happen off the field with these guys that could not be helped. Multiple guys had children that were lost. You can't touch that, right? Things happen. But optically, when you finish out the season in the press box, not only does that say that you're not ready for the team, not ready to perform with the team, but I'm gonna be honest with you, a little bit of that shit is shame. A little bit of that stuff is a little embarrassment. You don't want to show your face down on the sidelines because you know that you spent and got all of that damn money, all right, and you didn't do anything this year. So I think that permeates, and I believe that these guys, if they're going to stay leaders on the team, which they are, they got some making up to do. They got some sins they got to atone for because they did a horrible job last year. It hurt the whole team.
Dave says, Dad said they got Mac cheaper than paying. Waste of money. Yeah, I really don't understand the Kyle Juszczyk one, but again,
that's his friend. There's no way to explain it. Like, dude, come on, just say it. It's his friend.
Well, that was my thing, and when I like made the video of him re-signing, I ended it by saying if Kittle and Kyle Juszczyk weren't best friends, would Kyle Juszczyk be on this team right now? I think the answer is a clear no. To me,
no,
it's a clear no. Which makes you wonder. I'm not saying there is a rift, but it does make you wonder if that is the case. Like, what is Fred Warner thinking? He's like, hold on a second. You got your guy back in Juice. I couldn't get Dre back. But you got Juice? Oh, okay, cool. Because Juice definitely helps the team more than Dre. The
best people on planet Earth are the people that play defense for the San Francisco 49ers during this regime. Because if I play defense on this team, you wouldn't be able to keep me quiet. You would not. I would be laying the into the office like, y'all suck. You guys are mid. We give up half of our damn team just to keep you assholes afloat. They're horrible. You know what I'm saying? So like what kills me is that, yeah, man, Dre should have stayed. But one thing, I'll shoot the organization bail. We do not know just how healthy he is. We don't know.
Yeah, we don't, but he's obviously healthy enough for two teams to pursue him. The 49ers wanted to pursue him. It sounds like they went down to the 11th hour and tried to get him to change his mind from going to Denver before the new league year actually started.
Well, I mean, why can't we get Kyle to run downstairs to stop that deal from happening? I could have used one more sprint. Come on, Kyle.
AZJ says, "Hey Jesse, what are your thoughts on Derek Harmon and Tez Johnson?" Derek Harmon, I personally don't like him in the first round. I like him at pick 43. But it sounds like he's moving way up boards. He might be a top 20 pick at this point, which is crazy to me. And then Tez Johnson. Yeah, dude, if he falls to the 4th round, I love Tez Johnson. Absolutely. He's Tank Dell. I think he could be Tank Dell in this league, but we'll see. Dazza says, did the Niners actually have salary cap space releasing Floyd and Collins? Because now they absolutely have to draft defensive line as you need like 4 to 5 D linemen. Okay. Here's another spot where the 49ers with me lost the plot of the offseason. Okay. My biggest thing was like, what I love about the Debo thing, what I loved about the Juice thing is that everything was a pre-June 1st cut, which meant you're taking all this dead cap this year, and then next year you're not taking any of that dead money. You got a clean slate of bills. You're good to go and you can compete. You have a ton of money to spend. Well, now because they've added Malik Collins and Leonard Floyd and some of these other ancillary things, they're up over 20 million in dead cap space next year already. Because they're cutting these guys. Like, dude, you couldn't let Floyd play out his contract and just stay here. And Malik Collins, like, I don't understand. If you're going to cut him, okay, that's fine. Just take the hit this year. Take it this year.
I don't understand it either. But again, things are going to come out. I hate to say this, but really, we're really not going to know what's going on inside of the building. Maybe until maybe I would say 3 months from now, after the draft. Once media gets back in the building and everybody gets chirping again, we'll start figuring out exactly how they're moving. But I don't know. Do you really believe that it's a clean split? Like there's now. The organization handles the money, handles going after the guys based off of the recommendation from, of course, analytics, because Parag himself is an analytics guy, along with the developmental staff. Or is it still business as usual? Do you think Kyle's been stripped of making decisions?
I think John Lynch has been stripped of making personnel decisions, is what I think.
Me too.
I
think he's the first. I think he'll go before Kyle.
That's the way I feel about it. They've got 2 guys that are actual scouts. One was a director of pro player personnel. One is a director of college player personnel. Those are the two. Those 2 guys replaced Adam Peters. Those are your actual scouts that are out there watching these guys all year round and bringing them to the table. Kyle's ahead of John Lynch, so they're not going to strip Kyle and let John do his thing. And then you've got Parag, who's the money guy. I don't know what John Lynch does other than get in front of the media at this point. Like, I genuinely don't think he makes any decisions at this point when it comes to personnel. I really don't. I don't think he's that type of GM. I don't think that's where his chops are cut. That's just my personal feelings. But really the question is it, we'll just take the entity of John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan and the entity of Parag and Jed York. Is it as clean as Parag and Jed York are calling the shots now? No, not necessarily. I really feel like this was a 1-year thing, and I think next year they're going to be willing to open up the pocketbooks again. I guess we'll find out next year. Now, if they go into this thing next year and do the same thing, I'll start to question, like, all right, well, maybe maybe they really are done spending.
Well, let me ask you this: why do you want it to? I hear what you believe, but do you want it to happen? Do you think that them going kind of retroactively going back to Parag, basically being, scrutinizing all of them, every penny that comes in and out of the organization, but at the same time being able to build through the draft? I mean, that's how we built the team under Parag, is we got guys through the draft, right? So, yeah, he may be a problem when it comes to reing the guys up on their second-year deals, and also, especially with bringing in free agents. But ultimately, if you draft well, you really don't have to worry about Parag, honestly. Until it comes time to re-up guys and move on. I don't necessarily have a problem with moving that way as a football team. I don't like shopping for specific guys. I don't like trading up for Isaac Garindo. I don't like getting Dante Pettis in. Who's that other kid that we got from that never played for us? That played receiver / running back for us from Baylor. He played running back in Tennessee. Yeah, Jalen. I don't want to do that. I don't want to trade up for Drake Jackson just because he could do backflips and has a good first step. These guys, they get a little too cute when it comes to drafting guys and bringing guys in for specific reasons. That's what happens when you bring in a Javon Hargrave, right? He's not a complete football player. We know that. He can't stop the run. But when you think that you need a guy literally just for a skill set, then that's what kind of hurts you, In certain aspects, Christian McCaffrey was brought in here for a skill set. He's not an every down back. I hate to say that because I know he's done so much for us, but there's a reason why we're moving on from Jordan Mason, because we're going to bring somebody else in, right? So in a way, I do want to get away from how we've been bringing guys in. Really the best thing that has happened to us is the organization. I don't think that Kyle or John had anything. I don't want to say anything to do because that's ridiculous. But later in the draft, we do know that's when the scouting team really takes over. Later in the draft, that's when their work really shines through, all of their hard work. And it's no coincidence that that's where most of our players that we have found have stuck with us. So I'm not necessarily too excited about, acting on our best behavior for a season and then getting back to, business as usual. I think that Kyle needs to be checked.
I think that the truth lies somewhere in the middle, right? Because I don't want to go extreme from one to the other. I think you got to do a little bit of both, because if you go extreme the other way, then you end up looking like the Bengals, where it's like, we don't re-sign anybody. And then, when we finally decide that we have to re-sign him because Joe Burrow's in a request to trade, if we don't figure this out, now we're just going to overpay for everybody because we waited 2 years too long. So you have to have a balance. You can't pay everybody, but you have to be willing to pay some people. Right now, it's like they're willing to pay nobody. It's like nobody's making money around here the way that they're acting. So
yeah, it's bad.
On this path, I don't know about this way either. I think this is the right way to do it potentially for a season to get the books right. But after that, you got to kind of land somewhere in the middle. You can't go the route where it's like, hey, Kyle has to have his guys getting paid guaranteed money. They're already under contract, so just pay them. You can't do that for everybody, but you also can't just let everybody walk either. So they have to find that balance. I do like that they are pulling back a little bit. I do enjoy that. I think that's the right thing to do, but you can't do this every offseason. It's just, unless you don't want to compete, truly compete for another 3 seasons, assuming you hit on the draft every year.
Well, let me ask you this. What Super Bowl team is the team that goes out in free agency, knocks them dead, picks up all of their holes, and then gets a good draft and then rides off into the sunset? The reason why I'm against this is that I believe that the most active teams in free agency are the teams that suck. I'm being honest with you. The number one,
I don't disagree with that.
The number one team active in free agency this past offseason is the Vikings, and they need it. They got holes. They're a good team, but they just arrived, and they really haven't done anything, honestly. So, yes, good on them. The Commanders are spending. Yes, they had a weak schedule. They played way past their potential, but they have a horrible defense. They got holes, right? And they already picked number 2 overall. So now they're picking later in the draft than they've usually picked before, right? So, yes, they got holes. All 3 of the teams in our division who struggled this year, they're doing a lot in free agency right now. Our biggest issue with us is that we can't spend what we don't have. We're still taking our lumps, man. Our roster took our team by hostage last offseason. That's what they did. You can't have 3 to 4 of your best players all want money in the same offseason, and they all get paid. After a while, that has to come from somewhere. So, yes, our free agency is very lackluster because of all of the bad deeds that we've done and the deals that we've done in the past, and we got to pay for it. And I'm glad that we're paying for it now because it's really not that crazy of a free agency pool this year. It's not that crazy.
No, I don't disagree with that. I don't think getting over everybody and then bringing in new free agents was the way to go, and keeping the books cooked at a super high level. They could have done that.
They could have did that, and we could, and everybody could have been lying to each other. Like, yeah, quest for 6. It's like, dude, our books are trash, bro. Like, no, we cannot do this
year after year after year, and we're not going to know until next year, right? Like, we think the assumption is, at least my assumption is, they're going to be players again in free agency next year. Now, I don't need them to go out and sign everybody, but the Rams are a great example of this. They've built a very good young defense, a defensive line and an offensive line through the draft. They realize, hey, Cooper Kupp is cooked. We need Devontae Adams. So they go and spend on Devontae Adams. You know, and then they spent in a couple other little areas. They let some guys walk. They bring in a couple other guys. They didn't spend a ton of money, but they made the moves that make sense on paper, and they were willing to spend some money for certain players to try to get them over the hump. The Eagles, very similar. Hey, we're going to let those big name guys walk, but we're going to draft guys as well, but we do need a couple bodies in here to kind of fill that need. So we're going to go get Josh Uche. We're going to go get Azeez Ojulari, and all we need is for one of those guys to give us something this year, and we're going to be okay. So you have to spend some. You can't just do what the 49ers are doing and the guys they're bringing in. Coach, we're avid NFL fans. We've said it a million times. We're 49er fans, but if you gave us the choice to just talk about one or the other, we would choose the NFL as a whole.
But I talk football. Yeah.
We love football. We love the NFL. Half these guys they brought in, you and I have never heard of.
I don't know these guys.
That's real talk, bro. And I watch Quad Box every Sunday. I'm watching 12 games all the way. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like I'm not watching football and not digging through rosters and not looking at free agency and not watching these drafts. I watch way more football than I probably should and know way more about football than I probably should. So when the 49ers sign a guy that I've legitimately never heard of, and it happens more than once, like, dude, what are we doing?
Yeah. I understand that.
And then spend a decent amount of money on these guys, which is even crazier.
Yeah, that was kind of wild. I don't understand these deals that these guys get, man. But again, the books are cooked. We got a lot of void years that we have to pay for coming up. We got to get Trent out of here. We got to move on from Nick Bosa. Next year, if Nick Bosa gives us like another kind of like meh year, the birds are going to be chirping on him, right? I wouldn't be surprised right now with Christian McCaffrey. They don't move on from Christian McCaffrey mid-season if it's not looking too good. If somebody wants to come knocking to try to get their one player away and they need that last surge, I wouldn't be surprised if they move on from him. So really, I don't know the idea of what they're trying to grasp onto, but I do know that they're moving forward. Like the old narrative is gone. We're not trying to go get a Super Bowl. That window's closed. We're trying to move forward to see what we're going to do with Brock and what we're going to do with Kyle. I love what they're doing with Kyle right now because they're forcing him to coach his way out of this. A lot of people were, reactionary with fire everyone. I was one of those guys, especially during my live watch show parties. But really, I guess the biggest thing for me is just making sure that we pin Kyle's ass to this. We got to pin him to this because he made this mess, right? And I like what the Niners are doing. They're going to force him to coach his way out of it. You got 12 picks. Get out of my face and go win. Go put a football team together.
I'm with that. From Dust to Dust says, as an owner, which recent contracts can Jed look at and feel like whoever he delegated to that task did an awesome job. I think he's realized incompetence. Yeah, I mean, I will say that the recent contracts, most of them were probably bad ideas.
I could answer that question. The contract that would have been the red herring for me if I was Jed would have been the Christian McCaffrey deal.
Yeah, I agree. Yep. Completely agree.
That would have been the deal. Like, if you're asking that question to us, like, the Christian McCaffrey deal would have been like, okay, you guys are playing in my face now. Like, there's no way you can explain this. You're playing around with me now. You're officially wasting my money. That's what it feels. That's what it would have felt like to me if I was Jed. Especially with how he opened up the season. Like, I don't care how many doctors you get. I don't care how many ways you can, scientifically say it. That boy was hurt when he signed that deal. Full stop. You don't pick up a degenerative injury like tendonitis, right? That happens over time. You don't pick that up at camp. Like, that don't even track. So,
listen, we heard about a calf injury going into the playoffs last year. So there's no way that this was a new thing because, again, when they first reported it this offseason, it was a calf injury.
Mm-hmm.
We knew he had a calf injury. We already knew that last year. We knew that. So,
I'd have been hot.
Absolutely something there.
Sure. Yeah, if I'm Jed, I'm 38 hot off that McCaffrey deal. Because what's even crazier is that the devil is in the detail about that deal. It's not the fact that he got the deal. It's when he asked for the deal. He himself had an okay game. Okay, not great. All right. Also, Christian McCaffrey was already the highest paid running back in the league when he asked for the deal. Okay. So there was nowhere to go but up. It's not like he was looking at another player. Then he goes and they pay him and he gets guaranteed money to make him even more of the number one highest paid running back in the NFL when he gets that deal. And then on top of it, he held out. People, they sweep it under the rug. But Christian McCaffrey held out during the offseason. He did not show up for team activities. He skipped OTAs. All right. So he did all of that after the game that he had during the Super Bowl. Okay. Doubled down to not get paid to be the highest, but to get paid more than being the highest. And then he didn't even come into the season until mid-year and then flamed out for the rest of the year. If I'm Jed, that adds insult to injury. It's not just you guys signed a guy who shouldn't have been signed. It's you tried to rob, you got caught with your hand in a cookie jar. That's what that deal looks like. So, it's weird.
I talked about it mid-season when people were so mad at Ayuk. I'm like, how come there's no backlash for Christian McCaffrey?
No backlash for Christian McCaffrey.
Nobody said anything about Christian McCaffrey. They just let him go scot-free. It's like, well, he's injured. So was BA. You guys had zero issues talking trash about him. He was injured even worse. How come Christian McCaffrey gets zero heat from this fan base? That
I'm telling you, man. And for a fact, he went to the man's wedding. They all dressed up and went to his wedding while he was holding out. Make that make sense. They be playing in our face, bro.
Dazza says, do you think the dominance of the Cabo clique in the locker room affects free agent decisions making coming here? I don't know. I don't know about free agents coming here or anything like that. I do think that there are some decisions that have been made throughout the course of the years that it's pretty clear that these are player-led decisions. They're heavily influenced by players. Ultimately, Kyle has to say yay or nay or the front office or whatever. So it is on them, but players are clearly involved in some of the decision making. All right, let's get into a little mock draft. Man. Let's get into a little mock draft here.
Mock me.
All right. We're gonna go on PFN because I think PFN is better than PFF personally. First of all, they're up to date on all the picks, so you got to love that. PFF takes forever. That's annoying. Okay, we're not going to do any trades. We're going to do zero trades, and we're going to take your guy to start the draft. Okay, and we are. Let's see. We're going to take your guy to start the draft, and I want to see how it plays out, okay? So talk to me about Jahad Campbell. What is it about him that's got you all hot and bothered?
All right. So look, it's crazy how you said that. So look, Jahad Campbell, guys, University of Alabama, 6'3", 235 pounds, 4'5", 40, okay, 32-inch arms, 10-inch hands. This kid can move, man. He's got a 1-5 split, all right? So that's the numbers. The background on the kid. He's from Timber Creek Regional in New Jersey, all right? That's a high school out in New Jersey. He started out as a defensive end and a receiver, all right? First year as a freshman in New Jersey at 15 catch for 250 yards. Thing about it is that he got noticed right away. Came up to his junior year, and he goes to IMG Academy down in Florida. Gets 7 sacks within 3 games at IMG, and then he gets offered by Clemson, all right? Goes to Clemson, Bama comes in, big bait takes little bank. So we already know how that deal works. Bama comes in. Now, this is what I love about him is that when he first came to Alabama, he got recruited as an edge. Now, you're looking at a high-profile program like Bama, especially on defense. If you make it on the field right away as a true freshman, that's something that's special, which Jahad Campbell did. Jahad Campbell made the field right away as an edge and immediately showed promise. One of the things that he did first is that he's good with his hands. He's got an explosive first step. I mean, it jumps off the tape. If you watch through the film, the best thing that he does is that he's got a really big knife move. He loves to get inside of defenders. And this is just with him in his hand, with his hand in the dirt. After his mid-season at defensive end, I would say he played like 3/4 of the season at edge. He got switched to linebacker and actually stayed on the field. Once he got moved to Will, he played interchangeably between Will and Sam at Alabama until eventually the next season over, he started at Sam and Mike for them this past season. He's only played 2 years at Bama and automatically went through the whole program like a hot knife through butter. He's one of those guys where he loves the game. Now, this is one thing that I'll tell you about him. His coverage instincts are advanced for a converted edge player. All right. He's got multiple picks, and I'm telling you, this is a guy who would really stand to do a lot with his career playing with a guy like Fred Warner. All right. He brings serious pop as a tackler. He's a multifaceted weapon that creates matchup problems, and he's got rare closing speed. This is a guy that runs a 4.5 at 6'3" and 235 pounds. For context, Fred Warner runs a 4.67, and Dre Greenlaw and Aziz Al-Shair ran 4.78s respectively. All right. This is also a guy where he shows natural timing as a blitzer. This is something that I got to be honest. I love Fred, but that's not his strong suit. Fred does not go after the quarterback, nor does he blitz as well as this kid. He's natural at it. His developmental arc points up with him only turning 21 years old in past February. So he's a baby. This is a kid with a lot of tread on his tires. He's the youngest linebacker in this class, and the linebacker class is the weakest class in this draft outside of quarterback. It'd be somebody that could come in for us, and we can get a little bit of everything that we're missing right now. Number one thing that we're doing is that we're missing a Sam and a Will linebacker that can play right next to Fred Warner. We're playing next to somebody we're missing somebody that can protect Fred. Even though we did not have the defensive tackles that we liked this past season with Malik Collins and Jordan Elliott and Javon Hargraves, we still understood how bad of a defense we can be with a player like Devondre Campbell at linebacker. That was horrible. It also took years off of Fred Warner's career to play with the guy that bad. One thing that I'll also say is that same defensive line that we're looking to replace this year also looked good when Dre Greenlaw came back and played 2 games for us before he was eventually sat down for the rest of the season. It helps. It matters. This is also a guy that he brings the spirit of tenacity. Right now, we don't have any teeth on that defense. We need as many young guys that can fly around the ball that do not have to come off the field. This is a guy that you can rush off the edge, and you can still bring in D Winners. You can still bring in D Winners and stick him in at the Sam and take Jahad Campbell and put him down at the edge and have him rush. We have somebody with the speed and the athleticism where he could be a natural spy. No more quarterbacks running around on the field for us for a guy that can play in space. You also have a guy that can give us natural tackling ability in the secondary. This is another guy where he's got the potential to be a ball hawk linebacker like Fred Warner. And again, how many guys can name the top linebackers? Give me the top 5 linebackers in the NFL right now. It's hard to name them off rip. You got Fred Warner, Roquan Smith, Pat McQueen, and then your mind kind of goes foggy. They're hard to find, man. I'm telling you. And lastly, when our defense was the best, all right, I understood that our defense when we were the best, our defense would carry us. But it's not as if we had the guys on our defensive line that were world beaters. The truth is that we really haven't had a defensive line that can stop the run for about 4 seasons. But what has kind of hid that fact is we've had a good linebacking core. So I'm just telling you right now, he makes the most sense at 11 with a deep D tackle draft. We can get D tackles later on in the draft. All right. There are some guys that I wouldn't mind us getting at 11, but as far as getting the best player at 11 that would help us immediately, Jahad Campbell.
I disagree with it, but we're going to do it because I want to see how it plays out. A lot of people are saying Jalen Walker over Jahad Campbell. They're 2 different players.
They're not the same guy.
Walker, yeah, Jalen Walker is like, I'm not saying he's going to be this good, but he's like
he's an edge
where it's like he's going to be best suited to play edge in the NFL. And if you're going to go edge, then I would probably go like Pierce or something like that. So I don't know. But let's do it and let's just see what happens. All right. So here's what we got available to us. What position groups do you want to see?
This is the pick 2.
Pick 2, yeah, 43.
D tackle. Basic Graham's gone. Walter Nola's gone. Kenneth Grant's gone.
As they should be. You want to check out edge too? There's your boy Landon Jackson.
The Niners like Landon Jackson. I asked you about Landon Jackson because I know that the Niners are at his pro day today. I like Landon Jackson.
He reminds me of a young Eric Armstead. Very similar build. Yeah,
Landon Jackson, 6'7", 273. But I still think that we got to go D tackle. If I'm there right now, is Talik Williams gone?
Yeah. Looks like it. Yeah, oh yeah.
TJ Sanders is there?
Here. What is going on with this website? Why am I
I don't know what you're doing.
I don't know where the scroll thing's at. I don't know why I can't scroll down on these players right now.
I think you need to go to D tackle.
Who do you want to see? Williams?
TJ Sanders out of South Carolina.
He's there.
I want TJ Sanders.
All right. Okay, pick 75.
Go to I know he's there. Alfred Collins and Omar Norman Lott are right there for us to pick. So I'm not tripping right there. We could just do that. Go to tackle.
Okay.
You know our boy is still there.
Boy.
Our boy is still there.
There he is.
Our boy is still there.
I like 3 of these guys. I like
them too.
Yes, and I like Belton.
And I like Anthony Belton. Right. Let's go. All right. So we've already picked up our guy. We picked up a D tackle. Let's go edge. Go edge.
Okay. See, this is my worry right here.
Because they're all gone.
Yeah, it's just like I just feel like the drop off is massive.
Jack Sawyer, Ashton Gilliard and Gilliard or Jack Sawyer are right there with each other.
I mean, Jordan Birch has a physical frame to be a menace in this league, but it's like
6'6", 295.
6'4", 279 for Jordan Birch. But again, I watched him a ton at Oregon. There's
not
games
much.
where he disappears, and there's some where he takes over. So it's like, I don't know, bro.
Yeah. That's the thing. Like, there's not a lot of edges.
I know.
Shamar Stewart's gone. Nick Scorton's gone. Mikael Williams is gone. Jack Sawyer is still there.
Cam Scattaboo.
You know what? Go D-tackle again. Or no, go safety. Safety. Nah, go D-tackle. Nope. We're not going to play games.
Norman Lott or Collins?
Norman Lott or Alfred Collins? Norman Lott.
All right. Okay. Pick 100.
Who are my first two picks?
I know who edges there.
I know. Who are my first two picks?
You've picked Jahad Campbell, TJ Sanders, and Nomar Norman Lott.
Norman Lott.
Norman Lott, yeah.
Let's go. That's the only thing. We suck at edge. All we have is Yeturgos Matus.
I mean, most of the guys that were there last time stuck around, so that's good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
25 picks later, we could still get, I'd feel much better about a Jordan Birch at 100 than I would at 75. I'll tell you that right now.
Right now, I love the fact that we got 2 D tackles and a linebacker. We've basically handled the middle of our defense outside of a safety.
Anthony Belton is there.
Anthony Belton is still there?
Mm-hmm.
Draft Anthony Belton.
Throwing that out there. He's still there.
Yep. Draft Anthony Belton. Sorry.
Okay. We're at pick 113.
All right. So we got a linebacker, 2 D tackles. We got our swing tackle, and a nice one at that. You guys are like Anthony Belton. Look him up. What's that safety?
What do you think of Malachi Moore? I like Malachi.
I love Malachi Moore. He's just, I wouldn't pick him up in the 4th round, though. David Walker. Tyler Barron. Josiah Stewart. God, he's way down on the list.
Femi Oladejo's 183.
And this is us going in right now. We don't have a safety right now. We don't got a free. It'd be awesome if I knew we picked up we picked up Thornhill from Cleveland.
Right.
That'd be awesome. But right now we got 3 linemen, a linebacker.
Thornhill got picked up. Who did he get picked up by today? Somebody.
He did get picked up?
Yeah, somebody snagged him.
Okay. So we gotta go. Let's go safety.
Defense, safety.
That's Malachi Moore is a
Yeah. I mean, we got pick 138 and 147. You could always see if he slips.
All right, go to oh shit, go to corner. Kobe Bryant out of Kansas. Hold on. Cy Alexander. Yeah.
You want to go, Kobe?
No. Tripping. Man, go to edge real quick.
Hold up. Is this for real?
What?
Did anyone see the clip where Ayuk's girlfriend said that Debo encouraged him not to go to Washington and then he left to Washington himself? Oh,
I'ma chill. I'ma chill. He's not a part of this team no more. I'm moving on.
crazy.
If that's true, that's nuts.
That's crazy.
Cause I'ma chill. We online. I ain't even gonna we've heard stuff like that before.
I know.
Debo's a wild dude, man. All right. At 113. Wait a minute. Go to center.
Offense center.
Jake Majors.
Okay. Are you sure that's who you want to go with?
Yep.
I love Jake Majors.
Yep. Jake Majors.
Okay, pick 138. Do you want to see if
Malachi Moore is still there?
all right. No.
He's gone.
Yeah.
Damn it.
I like Jalen Reed though too.
Jalen Reed out of Penn State.
Mm-hmm.
This is an oddly weird deep draft. But the only thing about it is Jalen Reed a strong safety or is free safety?
I think he can play free. Let's see what they think. Jalen Reed is physical, instinctive safety, well-rounded skill set, allows him to contribute in all phases of the game. He excels in run support, demonstrating strong tackling ability and willingness to come downhill aggressively. In coverage, Reed has the range to patrol deep zone and his awareness to read quarterbacks and anticipate plays. His ball skills and ability to make plays in contested catch situations add values to the secondary. Yeah, see, I think he could play free. Not that I thought he could anyways, but it's nice to have their little read-ups too to kind of validate it.
Yeah.
We don't have an edge still.
I know. Go to edge, Jesus. Go to edge.
Femi? People love Femi. Oladejo?
Femi Oladejo?
Mm-hmm.
The kid from UCLA?
Yeah.
He's still there?
Mm-hmm.
Jack Joyner is still there. Q Robinson. Oh, Q from Rob. I don't like Q. I've seen him play. Yeah, go with Oluwafemi Oladejo.
Okay. We're at 147.
I love our O-line picks, by the way.
I do too.
Let's go back to D tackle. Who's that? Jamari Caldwell?
Yeah. I got Pegasus is there. Peebles is there.
Elijah Roberts.
Mm-hmm.
Peebles is there. Aeneas Peebles from Texas. From Virginia Tech.
Yeah, he's there.
Elijah Roberts. JJ Pegues.
Yeah, I
Who's
like
that
him
guy?
out of Ole Miss.
Out of Ole Miss.
He played side by side with Walter Nolan. Yeah,
Walter Nolan.
The problem is like they have like 4 draftable guys on that defensive line. It's like I don't even. If he's your third guy, sure. You do have 2 defensive tackles already.
Hold on, you're changing.
You need a running back too.
The running back's deep. I'll worry about running back later.
Okay.
We need to get guys closer to the line of scrimmage. We need another D tackle. We need at least 3 D tackles.
Okay.
Go back to D tackle, please. I would take. Is that Jamari Caldwell out of Oregon?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Give me Jamari Caldwell, 6'2", 342.
He's a big boy. Okay. Let's see. All right. So far we've taken Jahad Campbell, TJ Sanders, Omar Norman Lott, Anthony Belton, Jake Majors, Femi Oladejo, Jamari Caldwell,
Mm-hmm.
and we got 4 picks left.
Now we can start playing with the young guys. Now we can. All right. Oh, I feel good about O line. I feel good about D tackle. I feel good about linebacker. Feel okay about edge. Now let's look at safety and corner. Safety.
Right, safety. This is what you got left at safety.
Who's that? Kitten Caldwell.
Crawford, Hunter Woolen, Maxon Hook, Dante Trader Jr., Craig Woodson. I like Dante Trader Jr. as a flyer, but not until
Out of Maryland.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, let's go to corner.
Noel Williams is still there. Jalen Smith, a lot of people like him.
Who is still there?
Noel Williams.
Noel Williams.
Smith. Yeah. Upton Stout, Justin Wally, and Zaw Frazier.
Pick up Noel Williams.
I'll tell you right now, UTSA, they've been making some prospects now. Okay, we got 3 picks left.
Let's go running back.
Let's see best available just real quick, just for S's and G's. Devin Neal, LaQuint Allen. If we're actually full of running backs right now, Jaquavius Marks.
There's backs.
Yeah.
All right. So at back,
I want to see wide receivers too.
my Rashad White comp. Give me Devin Neal out of Kansas.
All right. I like it. I like it.
Yep.
Oops. We got 2 picks left.
All right, let's go.
You want to go back to that corner?
No, let's go tight end.
All right. Offense, tight end.
All right, now we can get a little stupid at tight end. Who's that? Thomas Fedone. Jesus, out of Nebraska, that's a no-go. Gary Bartholomew. How do you get Gavin Bartholomew? Lordy. My man's last name is Bartholomew. Kalen Priest. What is that last name? Preston?
Prescorn. I actually like him. I actually like Prescorn. He's
Prescorn?
a big boy. Yeah,
From Ole Miss, 6'5", 255, inline.
Mm-hmm.
Get him.
I don't think that's a bad pick. I actually like Prescorn. All right, we're down to our last pick.
Okay. We picked the back. We picked the tight end. We picked 3D tackles. We picked the edge. We picked the corner. Let's see if we got a receiver.
All right. Jimmy Horn Jr., Brew McCoy, Andrew Armstrong, Keandre Lambert, Efton Chisholm. I don't know any of these dudes.
I don't know any of those guys. Man, forget those fools. Anyway, let's move on to somebody else. Let's go to
Gosh.
let's go to safety. We never did get a safety.
No, we didn't.
Who's that? Rayuan Lane?
Yeah, no idea who that guy is.
Rayon?
I feel like DeRicky is worth a worth a flyer just for the name.
DeRicky Wright?
he's like on
Out of Vanderbilt, 6'3", 214.
Key and Peele.
What are they saying? What are they saying about DeRicky Wright's name? 6-year senior.
DeRicky Wright has developed into a dependable presence at Vanderbilt secondary with elite length at 6'4", 229. He's like a linebacker in today's game. He excels in coverage and as a tackler, a versatile safety who can defend both the run and pass. Wright has the tools to draw NFL interest. His performance leading up to the draft will be key in solidifying a pro prospect. I mean, as a flyer, I don't know if it gets better than that, right? Like 6'4", 229. He's toolsy. Like, I don't know.
Pick him up, man. He could probably be converted into linebacker if we don't like him at safety. All right, so that's the draft. What do you think about that?
Construction sound right. Uh, all right, so we got Jihad Campbell, TJ Sanders, Omar Norman Lott, Anthony Belton. See, I like the names. I like Omar Norman Lott. I like Belton. I like Majors. I like Femi. I like Noel Williams. I like Devin Neal. I don't hate it. I don't hate it.
What, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, look at it this way. This is what I love about this draft. Off rip, we handle our two biggest needs, right? We got, well, not biggest needs, but we got within the first 3 picks, we got our 2 starting defensive tackles that's going to play. All right. We know that they're visiting Omar Norman Lott. TJ Sanders is a guy. You got Jihad Campbell. We got our swing tackle who can play behind Trent and Colton McKivitz and Anthony Belton. All right. So we got our Jalen Moore replacement. We got Jake Majors, who can actually come in and literally start right now over Jake Brindle.
Jake. I agree with that.
Like, Jake Majors can come in and start right now. Okay.
I agree.
Oluwafemi Oladejo is gonna, the thing about Oluwafemi that I like is that he's not gonna have to play all by himself. He's gonna be able to get poured in with baked in with Yatura Gross-Matos. All right. Jamari Cardwell being our bigger linebacker, our bigger D tackle, then we have real depth, right? At defensive tackle, along with the guys that we have in. Noel Williams is a big body who I love a lot. You know what I'm saying? Can run. We'll see what he can do on the other side. We also need another guy that can handle big receivers. I'm looking at you, Darrell Luter Jr., but we need somewhere else to kind of break up that DB room. Devin Neal, running backs are running backs. I like him. My comp for him is Rashad White. That's my comp for Devin Neal. I love the way he runs. Caden Prinkson, I really do not. I'm not pre-scoring. I'm not going to act like I know this kid. I went off of size, weight, and height alone, and he's an inline tight end at 6'5", 270.
Pick 249 and 252. It's like, all right, dude.
And DeRicky Wright, yeah. But you know what I mean? How do you like the draft? How do you like this draft? How do you guys like this draft so far? What do you like about this?
I think they're gonna hate it, just because they don't want to go with Jihad Campbell. I will say this: it got scary really quick, like a defensive line for me.
Yep.
So
it went quick. You had to focus on it.
Yeah, I mean it went real quick. I would say for going Campbell, it didn't end up as ugly as what I thought that it would. But I don't know if I'm comfortable. Now, of course, these are mocks, right? Like the NFL draft is completely different. You're going to see names like, I'll give you an example. Jake Majors was a guy that I took at like 138 in my original mock draft like a month ago. And people were like, oh God, well, who is this guy? I hate him. Now it's like Majors is like flying up boards and people love him. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Right.
And so it depends on, but in the NFL might see it completely different. They may see Majors as a 5th round pick. They may see him as a 3rd round pick. I don't know. But that's the way that it is all the way across the board. Femi Oladejo, people are saying he's as high as a 3rd. Some people are saying a 5th. So it just it really depends on how it goes. But based off of this, it wasn't as ugly as what I thought. I still would prefer to not go linebacker. That's just me. But it wasn't as bad as what I thought, personally, starting with Jihad Campbell. It really wasn't. I was surprised. I really was. So,
yeah. I like it. I mean, I love this draft, man. I like it because... you took
care of the needs, right? You took care of the needs.
We got... what we have right now, this is a lineman draft.
Yeah.
That's what this is. This is a lineman's draft. We got... how many linemen did we pick up? We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6... 6 linemen out of this draft.
I mean, regardless of where you pick them, I like getting trenches, like going trench heavy here. I love going trench heavy.
Yeah.
So, for me, I love that you went trench heavy. It's like you started with linebacker, but then you went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 guys in a row in the trenches. Like, that's beautiful. Yeah.
That's exactly where I wanted. I would love for this draft to happen. It would make us stronger. We get edge presence. Our interior presence is good right there, man. Guys, go watch TJ Sanders play. Go watch Omar Norman Lott play, right? These are like guys that they could play. They could have started for us last year. You You know, so
Let's
Floyd
do one
Daniels
more
said
real quick.
49ers won't do it.
Let's do one more real quick and go the
Okay.
traditional route, which everybody's
Okay.
doing. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And again,
We'll go. You want to do your draft this time?
Sure. You know what's funny is in my first mock I did this year, like my official that I posted, I traded back to 20 and took Jade Barron, and people were so mad at that. Now Jade could go as high as like 11.
Jade
Like,
Barron is a.
Jade Barron at 11. I'm like, I had him at 20 in my original draft, and you guys hated
I feel
it.
the same way about Jade Barron that I do Jahad Campbell. You know, it's just a little too rich for a corner, right? But I feel Jade Barron, if he gets on this team, he gonna do everything.
Dude, see, this is the problem. Like, if you go traditional here, it's like if you go defensive tackle, I'm really all for those.
Look at all of those names. Like, this is what kills me, Jess. All of those names, they're not all the same, okay? There are some that are better than others, okay? But for me, none of those D tackles distinguishes themselves far and ahead of the pack. You could make an argument for why you should not or should have picked any one of those defensive tackles, those first 5 defensive tackles at 11. You could make that argument with every last one of them. But what you can't say about Jahad Campbell is that there's anybody close to him in this year's draft or in the class of linebacker. You can't say that. But you could say that about Walter Nolan. You could pick Walter Nolan and say, but you could have went with Grant, or man, are you sure you wanted to go there? You didn't have to go Walter Nolan. You could have went Mason Graham, or you could have went Derek Harmon. That's my only thing is that I just, a month ago, we thought that Walter Nolan was far and away, hands down, best defensive tackle in this draft. And then we actually watched more games, and we're saying,
I still think
I don't know.
I would be totally fine with Walter Nolan at 11. But to your point, like I do like all of these guys right here, right? And then when you go edge here, like I like just watching on film, two different positions, but I like Nolan's film better than I like Pierce's.
Me too.
I think
they don't play the same position though.
Clear best guy on this one. No, I agree. That's what I'm saying. I'm just saying, just player prospect for prospect. I like Nolan more than I like Pierce. But when I compare Pierce to the rest of the edges here, I like Pierce more. Like he rises above the edges that are available versus, Nolan rising above the defensive tackles. So I don't know. That one's tough. Jahdae Barron, Will Johnson. I love Will Johnson too, but the injuries scare me.
And Armand, and I have people, I see mock drafts where they have Armand Mimbu falling past us. Armand Mimbu is not falling past us.
0% chance.
It's not happening.
Like, let's see if he's even there. Yeah, he's
right there at the Panthers got him.
Yeah, he got picked. Yeah, and he will. I don't think he's going to make it to us at all. I'd be shocked if he does. Then that's the pick. So
what do you? So all right. So let me ask you this: outside of Armand Mimbu, make an argument for why the Niners should pick an offensive lineman at 11 if it's not Armand Mimbu. Can you?
No, I don't think.
Me neither.
I don't think I can.
That's why it's beyond me when people say, "Well, we should still look at O-line at 11." No. Why?
No.
Who is at 11 at offensive line that's worth that pick?
I think
Kelvin Banks Jr.
is a guard.
He's a guard.
I don't know, dude. I'm straight. I'm good on offensive line there. If
it's not Armand Mimbu, there's not an offensive lineman that I would be okay with picking that high.
Yeah.
What, for a guard?
No, I'm good. Let's just go with old trusty. We'll just go Walter Nolan just to see.
All right, go ahead. Go ahead. I mean, you know what I'm saying? You don't want, it's cool, man. You don't want to make no noise. I feel you. You want to conform to the man. I see you. Don't want to make no waves.
I love Nolan. Okay. See, and this is what I'm saying. Like, I'd be fine with Landon Jackson or Princely. I like both of them. Let's see who's at corner. Ezra Thomas. Ezra Thomas. I love Ezra Thomas too. And Maxwell Harrison. Jeez, dude. Hey, Marco wasn't lying. Look at where Carson's at on this.
Second round.
Yeah.
I still don't think that kid's as good as what's the name?
Yeah, he may not be. I just thought.
All right, so what do you want to do? So you picked Walter Nolan.
Yeah.
Oh, Ariante Ersery is there.
I know. I know. But dude, okay, look at this. We got this. We got if we go defense,
Mike Green is right there.
I'm not touching Mike Green. We got Ezra Thomas. We got hold on. We got Green. We got Landon Jackson. We got
Landon Jackson.
Bro, Princely was when this whole process started, Princely was like a top 15 pick.
He was
just dropped and
falling down.
Other guys are raising, dude. So here's my thought, right? You go Princely. If you took Nolan, you kind of go the Rams route where they took Fisk and old boy from FSU. You got your two guys that are teammates, right? Like that might not be a bad idea. Play them next to each other. There's comfortability there.
You already have Walter Nolan.
Mm-hmm.
Go see what else is that defensive tackle.
You got your normal guys. I got a defensive tackle in mind that I'm going to pair him with. So
okay, cool. So we can move. You know, we got to get 3 D tackles now.
We don't necessarily need 3.
I'm fucking up your draft. That's why. I'm messing up my draft.
Hey, Gray Zabel's still there.
Okay.
Dude, I like Irsay, right? I love Irsay, but then I know that Belton's going to be there. And
we don't have a tackle, though.
In real life, he's going to be there. You know what I mean?
I know. That's why.
I like all 3 of these guys right here. I like Jonah. I like Mimbu. I like all of them, but I also like Belton almost as much as those guys. So I'm fine waiting to get Belton.
See where you're stuck, though? You see what happens? Yeah. See, this is what happened. Okay, you went ahead and you got the middling need at round 1 in Walter Nolan. Now hold on. Now you don't want to pick a D tackle because you feel redundant, but you know.
No. I don't want to pick a D tackle because I've got a specific guy late that I think is going to start in this league and is a perfect guy to pair with him. That's why I'm not going D tackle.
So who'd you draft?
I went Princely. I just took his team.
All right, so you got your edge. So you got your D tackle, you got your edge. Yep. All right, now what?
Let's see. Edge. Oh, offense. Never mind. I'm tripping. Let's see who we got. Oh, Jalen Knowles there. God, dude. I know. Oh, there's a lot of good players, man.
We are done with receivers, brother.
Gosh, dude. I like Fairchild. I like Cornelius.
I agree with you, Belton. Big City, man. They don't look at it that way, though.
What did he say?
He said at 11, anyone in the top 20 is a target. You're in the middle of it. You're in the middle of the round. Like it's hard to get sucked in with a guy that's like 5 spots off, 6 spots off when you're at 11. You know what I mean? Like there's anybody could say
6 guys that are worthy top 10 picks, and after that, it's just who do you like?
It's So anybody could be looked at as a reach at 11. Anybody.
Yeah, I agree. That's why I said like Jade Barron. If he went, you know what I mean? If we took Jade, if we took Walter Nolan, if we took Grant, if we took your boy, like any of them, you can Pierce, you can make them all make sense. You really can.
Mm-hmm.
You really can. Gosh, dude. Quinn Ewers. All right, let's go. Like Denzel Burke.
Damn, safeties are going quick.
So
you see all the safeties just flew off?
Yeah, dude, they're going hella quick.
The safeties went quick.
They're going hella quick. They are. They absolutely are. Man.
Tackles are going quick.
I know. See, but I like Cornelius. I like Belton, and I like.
You wanted to get Princely.
I know. I did. No, I'm fine with taking Princely. There's just a lot of prospects here that I like at this spot. I would be fine with any of them. It's just a matter of what do I want to do.
Connerly's a guard, tattoo Jesus.
I gotta go Belton, dude. I love Belton.
Okay.
All
right, you got your swing tackle. So you went 3 linemen in the first round. You went D tackle, edge, swing tackle. You got your tackle. Okay.
Yeah. I did. Okay.
He's right there.
Who, Kobe?
Chris Paul.
Yeah, I like Chris Paul. I kind of like Mondon though, personally. I don't know. I like Mondon. I not like Demetrius Knight. See, I'm fine with any of those 3. I really am fine with any of those 3. So that's what's kind of hard for me.
There he is.
I know. Jake's there.
I like Jonah Monheim too.
Do you?
Out of USC.
Yeah.
Their center.
I like Jake a little bit more. But
True.
What
you gonna do?
Hard,
I see. It's so crazy when you wanted a gun, right?
It's so hard. There's so many guys. It's like, oh my gosh.
Malachi is too rich at 100 overall trip aces. Oh, Malachi Starks. Go to safety.
I don't think he's there, was he?
Oh, Malachi
Moore. Yeah, no.
That's too rich.
I was like,
I thought you saw Malachi Starks strip aces.
I like Dorian Strong.
Blue
like
said
Kobe
Panic
Bryant
and get a kicker.
Oh, no. That's terrible.
What you gonna do, man?
Golly, dog. Golly.
So hold on. Let's think about it. You got a tackle, a edge, and a D tackle.
Ooh, actually, let me see. Yeah.
You got to go D tackle again.
No. I know I do. I'm going to take Cam Jackson, though. He's my guy.
Why?
Chill. I'm not going to take him now. I'm just saying.
Out of Florida?
He's going to be my guy that I pair. Stop. You need to stop.
Just because he's big and black, bro. I can say that. Come on, man.
He moves well. Are you kidding me? Have you watched him?
He moves to the buffet line.
Stop. Listen, where he's going versus where Deion Walker's going. Deion Walker, I think you're talking about Deion Walker. People love Deion Walker. I don't see it with him personally. I don't see it at all with Deion Walker.
I see the same thing with Deion Walker too.
Cam Jackson.
They big for nothing.
No, that is not Cam Jackson.
That is Cam Jackson.
You might be watching somebody else. You ain't watching Cam Jackson. No, sir. You're not watching Cam Jackson.
9-inch hands, 6'6", 340 pounds. Got smaller hands than Brock Purdy.
Care about his hand size? Are you gonna start?
You don't even care about the big man.
You gonna start scouting like
Well, I know what you're about to say.
You know what they say about small hands and small gloves.
He's about 6'5" with an 8-inch.
Whoa! All right, cut the live.
You're gonna love this. You're gonna love this tight end we got. The way his skin glistens after sprints.
I'm gonna go Kobe as well. I just took Kobe. We're gonna have a lot of these same players, dude, because we love the same guys. So
yeah, I almost picked Kobe Bryant.
Yeah. Let's see.
Well, you got a 113?
I thought you did take Kobe. Did you not?
No, I didn't take Kobe Bryant.
Are you sure?
I got my list right here.
I thought you took Kobe.
Hold on, where my
Who'd
list?
You take at corner? I thought you took Kobe.
I took Noah Williams out of Cal.
Oh, okay. I thought you took Kobe for some reason. Okay, let's go. Mm.
You want to trade down to 11 and pick up Eamon Warmy Shills? I don't like that, man. You want to draft all the way down and pick up a all-world safety? I like Eamon Warmy.
Oh, he's talking about no.
Eamon Warmy.
I'm good, dude. He could be.
You're converting Eamon. So wait a minute. You're going to pick a guy in top 20 just to convert him?
No.
Nah, Frisco.
You can't do that. You can't do that.
You can't do that.
That cannot happen.
Come on, man.
That can't happen.
That's like marrying somebody and it's just like, we got to get her down on the whole faithful thing. But outside of that, the marriage should be good. It's like, you got to do it backwards, man.
Stutzman. I'm just over here drafting. Don't mind.
Yeah, so what'd you get? You picked up Jake Majors, Malachi Moore, Danny Stutzman. Who's that?
Oh, calm your butt down. All right. You need to calm down. Hold on. He's out of Oklahoma, linebacker out of Oklahoma. Gosh. Man, I really like
you need a receiver?
I'm not.
Are you going receiver?
No, I'm straight.
I got a sneaky good receiver that I like. Well, everybody knows about this guy, but the kid out of TCU.
Oh, yeah.
I love that kid.
Where's he slated to go, though?
Like third round. I think his name is like Savion Williams.
Yeah, Savion.
Kid's huge.
Huge. All right.
How many picks you got left?
I think 2 or 3. Let's see. 3.
You got 3 picks left? You picked Cam Jackson, Danny Stutzman, Malachi Moore.
Yep.
Okay.
Don't act like you don't like Malachi Moore, first of all.
I love Malachi Moore.
Malachi Moore.
I mean, I love Malachi Moore. Come on, man. You don't got to twist my arm to get me, stomping and clapping my hands for Malachi Moore. That's my guy. I just, Malachi Moore at what? At 138 in the 4th round? That's okay.
That's not. Yeah, I was gonna say, don't act like that's bad.
That's okay.
Don't act like that's bad. There is. All right.
I know Eamon Warmy was converted from linebacker to play safety, but I don't know if you want to send him back.
Convert him back. Yeah, I wouldn't convert.
Yeah, I wouldn't convert him back. He got, you know what I mean?
You know what I feel about him? If he's a tweener like Simmons, then it could be a disaster. It's like you're getting the athletic freaking Simmons. Remember when he was coming out?
That's
true.
Like,
oh my gosh, he can play linebacker. He can play safety. You just whatever you want. And then he got to the NFL and I was like, he can't really do either really good.
He can't really do any of that.
He's there. And right now he's a free agent. You can go get him. You can still go get him. He's still out there. If you're interested. Just throwing that out there.
Yo, Eric is hilarious. He said, Coach, no need to dump on Jesse's draft. Blowing out another man's candle doesn't make yours burn brighter. The more you know.
That's funny. That's funny.
Trevor Etienne is a solid pick.
And let's see. Oh gosh, if he's here. I'm cooking with Brady Cook. Let's go. getting a quarterback.
Brady, that's my guy.
I like Brady.
Brady,
He can move too, man.
fastest quarterback in the draft.
As a prospect, man, I'll take it.
Dog, I tweeted about Brady Cook a couple of weeks ago, man. Brady's the guy.
Yeah, I'm back and forth between him and Buddy from Syracuse. I like them both.
I said
I like Syracuse slightly more, but they're roughly.
What do you like about Brady? Because I know, I see, man, we talk every day and still don't be talking about anything for real. Tell me what you like about him.
There's not a throw he can't make. You know who he reminds me of? He actually reminds me a lot of Jeff Garcia. He just organized chaos at all times. And organized chaos at all times.
Dude, I'm going to tell you, man, he played some good ass ball. This is what I said about him. This is what I said about Brady Cook. When did I say this? I said this about Brady Cook this is March. Man, what in the hell? Here it is. I said this on the 26th of February. Brady Cook will be a phenomenal pick. Just watch his game. Watch him at the combine. He's my most underrated quarterback in this year's draft. He's not being talked about enough. Lock him up and stick him on the bench to learn. I think if Brady Cook came here and sat and learned the offense, he may be the next Brock Purdy. I believe he has all the tools. He's athletic as all get out. He's not sneaky athletic. He's just flat the fuck out athletic.
He's just athletic. All right?
Yeah. He's just athletic. He could break the pocket and run. He's got good decision-making skills. He played in the SEC. Didn't necessarily play with the best team either. Like, they weren't world beaters.
You know who should draft him? Low-key, who should actually draft him and develop him?
Seahawks?
Philadelphia Eagles.
That wouldn't be fair.
Let him take
if
over
that kid, if Brady Cook got a hold of that offense and they actually sat him down to learn that, they would be a problem. Brady Cook is nice, bro.
He'd be perfect. And then in a couple of years, if you want to move on from Hurts for whatever reason and you develop Cook, it might work out. I'm not saying
it's the Howie Roseman thing to do.
It is. Yeah, Kyle McCord's the other one that I like. But listen, they're probably
I have to watch Kyle McCord though. Tell me what you like about him. I haven't seen him yet. I haven't watched enough.
You want to talk about a quarterback that Kyle Shanahan's gonna love?
Really?
Kyle McCord is Kirk Cousins.
I hate him already.
Right now. He's Kirk Cousins. He's everything that Kirk was in college. That's Kyle McCord.
Yeah, Brady Cook has a strong arm trip.
Yeah,
I'm gonna watch him today.
Go watch McCord, man. He is Kirk Cousins 2.0. He is. So there you go. Anyways,
man, this is a good one, man. I'm glad that we're back, bro. Like we literally forgot about us streaming together. We were on the phone the other day, and I was like, bro, weren't we supposed to do a show together? Like, you want to do it now? So I'm glad we hooked back up, man. These shows are real easy to do. I love streaming with you, Jess.
Yeah, I love streaming with you too, man. And so for everybody to know, we're going to do this every Monday. However, the next 2 weeks will be a no-go. I'm going to be in Bora Bora the next 2 weeks. So starting next week into the middle of the week after. So I'm not going to be streaming for a while. Let's get to these super chats. From dust to dust. I agree with you, Coach. Being blindsided by Trent would have pissed me off too. How did Kyle and John not know Trent was going to hold out? Especially after CMC did it, I don't understand either. That doesn't make any sense.
And also, especially after the only thing that emboldened Trent was watching them not doing anything.
Yeah.
During the draft. This is the most offensive line laden draft in the past 20 years. And if I'm Trent, I get it. Like, you guys didn't do anything all this time. I want my money. You're strapped. You can't do anything without me. So let's see if they make the same mistake this year and don't go get a tackle.
Dave says, is Cam Scattaboo good or people just like saying his name? He's
50-50.
He is good. He's good, but he's overhyped by this fan base.
Very overhyped. Yeah.
Our fan base, the Bills fan base, and I think it's a Seahawks fan base are just like in love with this.
Scattaboo.
He's good. Don't get me wrong. He is good, but I wouldn't take him before round 4.
I know Frisco. They won't.
Tommy says Jesse and Coach together again. So adorable. Nice. Well played. Well played. All right, y'all. Listen, good show, Coach. Thanks for doing this with me. We'll be back at it in a couple weeks. Much love, everybody, on both channels. Now, make sure you like and subscribe to both channels. Unless you just don't like one of us, then, just like and subscribe to the other one. All right, y'all. Much love. Peace.